Hey, welcome in, everybody. It's time for another episode of Three Guys Before the Game. It's episode number 581, and it is titled Stillwater Slapdown. Now, that could have gone two different ways if you think about that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we could be sitting here bemoaning that West Virginia got slapped down in Stillwater. But instead, that's not our story. We're here to talk about a Mountaineer slapdown of significance, of massive proportion. Who had 38-14 West Virginia as your final before the ball went into the air yesterday?
Nada.
Probably nada. And if you said you did, you'd be lying. Three Guys Before the Game with the Dean and El Senatore. We're ready to do this thing. Brought to us by Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. By Gomart. Get a Gomart rewards card. Go to gomart.com for details. By Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. By Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way, and we have just finished. Still got my wrapper. Yes, got my wrapper.
Yeah, I was going to say, we should have saved a picture of it. Are we on camera here?
Not yet, but
all
we will
that's
be.
left, that wrapper and that napkin.
That's all that's left.
That napkin there.
Yeah.
That's all
We
that's
ate.
left.
We
Thank
ate
you,
good.
Hoppy.
You're welcome.
Hoppy, courtesy of Hoppy.
You know what, Hop? We ate good.
We ate good.
Three Guys also brought to us by
It was
Conley's.
busy there. It was busy there this morning.
Oh, it's breakfast, morning, sir, Sunday morning. Yeah. Three Guys also brought to us by Conley's CPA Group, providing value beyond the numbers.
Don't count on it next week. It's going to be crushed next week.
Well,
After the blackout?
Yeah, you mean it'll be busy on Sunday?
Yeah.
that's
Unless
all
I
right.
get that Saturday night.
Yeah. Nah, we're good. we like them when they're hot. Thank you for bringing those to us.
I won't complain about being hungry this show either. Thank you. Which is probably why you brought them, right? You were tired of hearing me say I'm hungry every show?
Well, your food management is really poor. It's like, it's just not good. Yeah. And today you actually had breakfast, but you doubled down on the biscuit.
Told you I could eat too.
All right, boys, let's jump in. West Virginia 38, Oklahoma State 14 leaves the Mountaineers at 3 up and 2 down so far this season, and 2-0 in Big 12 conference play in what overall was just a pretty wild weekend. Not a pretty wild, an extremely wild weekend in college football, outside of the league, obviously, with both Alabama and Tennessee going down. It's
And Missouri.
And Missouri.
Top 10 Missouri.
Michigan.
Missouri lined up, got absolutely exposed. Get out of the top 10. See ya.
Also, Miami down 25 at Cal, comes back and wins. That was kind of like a car accident that you could see coming. I had it on last night, and I could just feel it. And when they got there, I said, I'm done. I'm out. I don't want to see it. I'm not watching the accident. I knew it was coming. Just shut her down. All right, let's jump in. On the program, we will get Hoppy's obvious observations, titled HOO. Who? Senator has spreads on stats. Again, these are fresh numbers, just less than 24 hours after the game is over. So they'll adjust themselves over the next several days, but for the most part, we'll get the gist. And there's a lot of gist.
This just in, they were good.
In this game.
Grades are good.
Grades are pretty good. Still going to stay that way. And then, obviously, we have spreads, or the textual healing, which was stunningly different. Stunningly different than the weeks where – a couple things I noticed, pretty interesting. Now, we'll get a couple hundred when they lose.
Mm-hmm.
You get about a third of that when they win.
Which is surprising.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it just surprises me. If fans, you would think you would just be excited over wins. Like I don't know why everybody has to jump off the ledge all the time. Be excited.
Yeah.
What do I always say, Hop? This can be fun. You're allowed to have fun.
Yeah, you're allowed to. Yes, exactly.
So enjoy the moments when there's
Exactly.
wins. Enjoy the moments when there's a game like yesterday when you line up, punch them straight right in the face, then punch them in the face again, then step on their throat while they're down and get the win. Enjoy it. Have fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Agreed.
So we can put this thing into perspective, and we will. But it certainly sets up a pretty interesting two-game homestand. The Iowa Staters come in Saturday night, 8 o'clock, in the dark, black uniforms and no lights. at all. Not even going to turn the lights on.
Glow in the dark ball.
Yeah, the only thing you're going to have is the light from over at WVU Medicine. That's the only thing. You're just hoping that reflects other than just playing in straight darkness.
They'll put those headlamps on their
Yeah,
helmets.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we got that. Then you got Kansas State, and then you got Arizona, and your month of October is going to be over. So it's super intriguing, super fun. You got some life. Let's get into it. Hoppy,
Yes.
please state your obvious observations. Thank you.
Okay. Here's my who's, and to me, this turned into a check-the-box game, and I stayed up all night working on this graphic. So maybe you can see that graphic. I have boxes.
Nice work.
Boxes checked there.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start and see if these boxes were checked. Brad, a win on the road against a conference opponent when you went underdog. Not a big underdog, but an underdog.
Check.
Offense reaches potential.
Check.
Jaheim White on track.
Check.
Pass defense improved, creates turnovers. Even Steve Dunlap, the very critical former defensive coordinator, looks at it and says, hey, the defense played well and disguised a lot of their defenses.
Not just improved, really good. Check.
Set up for the October run, starting with the blackout.
Check.
Overall improvement in the off week.
Lots of it. Double check.
Confidence in not only your quarterback, which you had confidence anyway, but your backup quarterback who comes in a difficult spot.
Weren't exactly sure when the backup was in and when he wasn't. Just came in. Quarterback position was awesome. Check.
Done.
Boxes all checked.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So you guys were with Dunlap. He came back from this fishing trip.
Yeah.
He's finally here, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Surprised. Just showed up.
Just showed up.
Just showed up. I don't know if anybody knew he was coming. Just showed up.
Have a big stringer of fish with him? Did he bring
Had about 400 fish pictures, though.
Yeah.
Fish guys love to show you pictures.
Oh, yeah, they do.
They love the pictures.
Yeah. Fish
They might like the pictures more than the actual fishing.
Fish people are no different than the Kardashians. The Kardashians, like, they take those selfies and they purse their lips. Same good thing with fishing guys. They just purse the lips of the fish.
Dunlap fished so much he came back with carpal tunnel.
I believe it.
True.
Which is actually true.
I know.
Yeah.
I believe it. Well, you can't do this every single day from the time he gets up into Canada and just stays there for months. What do you think that's going to do?
But, Tony, in all seriousness, Dunlap knows what he's looking at, okay? And he had looked at film of a couple games, and then he watched yesterday, and he said, hey, they're better. Better at gap control, number one. Better in their defensive backfield and communication. Better in disguising what they were doing defensively.
That's what I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
What did he say? Because Neil told me Friday that they had put some things in defensively that they had not shown on tape yet. So what was he saying? Was it robber coverage?
Yeah, shifting late, right? Mm-hmm. Not just getting into your position before the snap. And again, some of that, and Steve even said this, Jordan has said this, when you got new guys in there, you got to be a little bit simple so that they can execute. But what's that also do? It allows the other team to see what you're doing. This was they were moving guys late, rolled the corners up a little bit, played the two safeties deep that helped, and just disguised some of the stuff you were doing there.
Yeah. Like in the first interception, it was safety help, but it was disguised, so Bowman never saw Jaheim Joseph coming over.
Yeah. Yeah, we kind of ID'd it upstairs, kind of like a robber coverage. You just got
yeah. So he was favorably impressed with what he saw defensively.
Very good.
What he had pointed out previously was that that West Virginia's, even that defensive front, as good as they've been at times, was not getting gap control and was allowing long runs, and they had better gap control in the game.
Yeah. We'll get into this, I'm sure, with the sacks, but they had been sacked just once the entire season. West Virginia gets 2 on the same possession.
Number one in the country. Talked about that in the preview episode. We'll recap that coming up.
Yeah.
It was great. You really couldn't ask for anything better. I mean, you took the ball right away, as West Virginia does. Neil explained that after the game. Took the ball, marched right down the field. You would have liked a touchdown, but you got points, and just kept rolling right from there. It was just dominating is the word, right? A dominating win on the road against a really good program that many thought would be in the mix to win this league.
5
went in and buried them.
5 possessions in the first half, 5 scores.
Yeah, well aware. Yeah, and Oliver Straw does not officially get a punt in the game because it was a penalty. He got roughed, so he never had a punt. So he really didn't punt. West Virginia technically did not punt in the game.
I give West Virginia a lot of credit, not just for the results, but we talked about what a situational advantage they had going into the game. You're on an off week. Oklahoma State playing its 6th consecutive game, and they had some injury issues. You took advantage of that situation, right? You did exactly what you were supposed to do when you were handed one of those advantages. You just rolled. But here's the interesting thing. They clearly missed Colin Oliver. They clearly missed Nick Martin. And we talked about the middle of that defense where you could run right at him, and you did. But here's the thing that will get dismissed because you were so dominating, And people say, well, they had some injuries. I don't know if it's as good. Here's the thing. West Virginia lost a starting quarterback for a while and starting center for a few snaps. Did anybody make any excuses for that, or did you roll in and put your guys in and just absolutely mashed?
Mm-hmm.
Credit to them. Extremely well prepared, extremely ready to go. Everybody on that offense, defense, and special teams executed fantastic.
Controlled Ollie Gordon.
My goodness. Yeah. We'll get into those numbers, but absolutely squelched him down.
And in a stunning development, very few penalties in that game.
It was a nice, two things. West Virginia had 2 penalties the entire game, and that's one thing. They finished with 2 for 5 yards. Oak State had 3 for 30 yards.
Yeah.
5 total penalties in the game. Isn't that kind of neat? Isn't that kind of neat?
Yeah.
But I did lose my mind on the Garrett Green slide.
You weren't the only one.
Just
but
let's have some common sense. The rule is this. When the player begins to go down, that's a play where the play's dead. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine, get it. However, he could have easily gone an additional yard or 2. He just went down.
Or 4.
Let's have some common sense where the official goes like, "Hey, it's a first down." Can we just do that? Because it is so subjective as to when he, quote unquote, begins to go down.
Right.
So you're talking about 3/4 of a yard to a yard right there. That's the difference. That's what pissed me off.
Well, is it when the knee buckles? Is it when you start the slide? Is it when your body low? Right. It's a horrific interpretation of the rule. The rule needs to be changed because here's the other part. It's intended for player safety. So what you're now asking people to do is not take safety first and foremost and say, okay, if you're going to penalize it, I got to go a little further, and now you open the chance for getting hit. Yeah, horrific.
And off topic, not in our game because we didn't have any targeting. I saw some targeting penalties, non-calls, and then calls yesterday where that penalty is totally in a confused mode.
You're saying there's confusion over targeting? We haven't heard that before.
My good, Iowa State.
Yeah, Iowa State. They're going to have a guy that's going to miss the first half.
Yeah, they had a guy that got done, and then so that was a horrible call. And then you have North Carolina and Pitt. You had a North Carolina defender come over, and bam, Pitt's quarterback, and should have absolutely been targeted. No target. So I digress.
It seems like the slide should be, maybe I'd like to know the rationale for why the rule is interpreted the way it is. The slide should be when you're down, right? I mean, when your knee touches, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they've got 16 different reasons why, but just do it right. You know what we need to do?
What?
We need to get a Comax new business phone system and call the officials up and ask them why. Really?
I'm gonna Google that when you.
Yeah, good luck. Comax Business Systems, a proud sponsor. Were they the first sponsor?
They're right up there. They're right there.
They're right up there.
Founding sponsor.
Founding sponsor is Comax Business Systems, and what they do is they have every piece of office equipment you could ever think of. They got that. Okay, fine. They also have business phone systems. If you're a business owner that has been thinking about it but delaying it, let me tell you what. They have the best of the best from 1 digital line to 1,000 digital lines. They can help you. They'll come in, do a free price estimate for you, and then financing can be worked out in so many different ways, from purchase, rent, or lease. It gives you unbelievable abilities to communicate with your people, whether they're out in the field or in the offices. Now that everyone's working remotely, you can do so many different things to stay in touch. It's Comax Business Systems. Visit them at comaxwv.com.
Could it be, it probably is, that, going back to the Pickett deal that led to the slide rule was, so you can't fake it.
Right.
So if you act like you're going to slide.
Well, that was a different thing, though. So that's 2 different things. That's the fake slide. That was the Pickett thing. But the other rule was already in force, that once you begin to go down, that's when technically the play is over. I just thought it was... that wasn't common sense. They could have easily said he got the first down, move on.
You could easily say you're down when you're down. Every other time you're running the ball, you're down when you're down, right?
Right.
Why is this one different?
Yeah.
You're down when you're down. When your butt hits, you're down.
Right.
Spot it where that is.
But you could see that official ran up. He was right there, and as soon as he started the slide, even though His knee wasn't down till later. That official ran up and marked it right away short of the
I'm
first
going to
down.
tell you this, about the only time they got Garrett Green down was that.
How about Green? How about Garrett Green, who is, C.J. Green, who just – and Markiel put a D-back on his back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just really tough plays by those guys.
So did
CJ
CJ and
Donaldson.
Jaheim. So did Jaheim. They
Yeah,
both
so Jaheim,
posterized
yes.
defensive backs, stiff arms. Derrick Henry-esque.
Has I think Jaheim White's 150 plus were the quietest 150 plus. Because you come out of that game, I don't know about what you guys were saying, but like that was a quiet 150 plus.
I don't know about
Well,
that.
we talked about it a lot.
Did you talk about it a lot?
Yeah, because that was one of our pregame things. We talked a bunch about.
He's got to get going.
That he's got to get going. He's due. So we were tracking Jaheim from the beginning.
Okay, yeah.
He had a big day.
Because so many other guys had games, like CJ, he'd make big plays. Garrett, obviously,
Here's
Nico
what
made
Jaheim
big
had
plays.
a game. He had a game.
By the way,
Yeah.
can't give Hudson Clement the ball enough.
Oh, what a catch.
Can't give it. I mean, he can do that. That's not an exception to the rule. He's great. He's a great receiver. He needs to pump the ball.
That was a great football play. That's as good a throw as you can make. That's as good as you can cover a dude. I mean, that defensive back was all over Hudson. He's over his shoulder, over the top of his head, falling down, and one hands the thing. Are you kidding me on that
He's a
catch?
football player.
Couldn't use the right arm, being held.
Make sure we'll tell his dad this weekend when he's
That's
at the
right.
food
Well, his
court.
dad's performing at the
He
food
is. I'm
court.
sure he is.
Mike, Friday night.
Sure he is.
Normally, by the way, you know who he performs with?
Who?
Dave Walker, the Martinsburg coach.
I didn't know that.
They play together, but I think Dave's probably got a contest on
He's probably
Friday.
busy.
Yeah.
Mike Solo.
Dave won't be here Friday with him? No, he's going to go coach.
So Hudson's dad, Mike Clement, will be performing at the food court. We got a lot of details on that
We got a lot of
coming
details.
up as well. Let's do this now.
So I checked the numbers. We'll just go right to the numbers. Here comes the heater. Let's jump into the analytics portion of the show.
That's right, we're doing analytics.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Spreads on Stats brought to us by Conley CPA Group. You know, sometimes it might put you in a better situation if you're a business owner and you outsource your accounting. Give it to someone else and say, you do this. Makes me go crazy. That's Conley CPA Group. You can outsource your accounting. In fact, CFO services as well. They provide value beyond numbers, public accounting, consulting, take you by the hand and walk you through the maze of what tax laws are and make sure that you get the best possible results. Visit them, Conley CPA Group, getting ready for their 40th anniversary. Experienced local professionals. Time now for Spreads on Stats. El Senatore.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Settle in. Glasses on.
Ooh.
Here we go. Best overall Pro Football Focus grade for a game versus an FBS opponent since 2016 versus Kansas.
Wow.
So numbers backing up what you saw with your eyes. Lined up, drilled them. The grade looked like, guys, if you go back and look at West Virginia's season-long grades in different games, it looked like you were playing an FCS opponent grade is how it graded out.
Albany.
Right near 90. All Duquesne, anybody back through the years. So obviously just an impressive performance. Hop, what do we say a lot about college football being a week-to-week business?
It's a week-to-week business.
Thank you. Can't just assume a performance one week will be replicated the next week, good or bad, correct?
Correct.
Alabama.
Good example here. Alabama would be a great example. Yeah. West Virginia gave up 250 yards rushing to Kansas last week, right?
Right.
That caused some angst among some that said, oh, no, now you're not stopping the pass, now you're not stopping the run, what are you doing? Neil came out and said, listen, sometimes you've got to decide what you're going to live with, and we wanted to limit the passing attack of Kansas. We knew that was going to open up some run. Kansas took advantage of it, but you're still able to get the win, right?
Right.
How'd the run defense do on Saturday?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
That was a switch in game plan. That's why it's a week-to-week business. You looked at that Oklahoma State team, as we did, and said, listen, stop Gordon. I don't think the quarterback can beat you. Right? He's putting up some good counting stats. That passing offense cannot beat you. West Virginia comes out, stops the run with a 90 run grade from PFF, a 90 run defense grade, best since 2022.
Jeez.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well done.
Talked about the Oklahoma
36 total
State.
yards. 36 total yards.
Absolutely
what it
just
was?
ate them up.
36, yeah, could count the sacks, and they had 36 total yards.
Speaking of sacks, we're going to get to that in a minute, too. We talked about the Oklahoma State run defense, Hop, right?
Mm-hmm.
They had struggled. West Virginia had run the ball well. If you do what you do, you should have some success. We said that Oklahoma State led the conference in boom percentage. Remember the boom percentage stat? The percentage of very successful running plays for the offense. West Virginia ran for nearly 400 yards and would they have 14 runs of 10 yards or more?
Wow. Talk
about a boom percentage. The boom percentage was in full effect.
Boom, out go the lights.
14 run plays, so that's categorized 10-plus yards, big play on the ground, 10-plus yards. West Virginia had 14 of those, accounted for 250 yards rushing just on those plays.
What? Say that again?
14 rushes of 10 yards or more for West Virginia. Those 14 runs got you 248 of your nearly 400 yards. Boom percentage. That stat came to fruition. We also said within that run defense, we niched it down even further and said, watch the quarterback running for West Virginia. They should have a day. He should have a day, meaning Garrett Green. Oklahoma State had given up the second most, quote, very successful run plays to opposing quarterbacks. How'd that work out, Hop?
Well, West Virginia had a lot of successful runs against
132 yards rushing for the quarterbacks combined in that game.
On 17 carries.
So you did exactly what you thought you could do against a defense that had given those up. We said also, guys, Bowman had thrown a bunch of interceptions and probably should have had more given his turnover-worthy plays. He overthrew a receiver in the second quarter, Jaheim Joseph, right there to pick it off to end a scoring threat by Oklahoma State. Aiden Garnes, and we're going to talk about him more in a minute. He jumped that route, was right there for an interception, just went through his hands, but he should have had one right there. And then how about Josiah Trotter with that beautiful sideline catch, hold it in one hand, look down to get your feet in, got the 2 feet in. Just needed one, got
Baryshnikov.
Amazing.
Led the team in rebounding.
We talked last week about how historically low Oklahoma State's run block grades had been, where they had 3 games before Saturday. They had 3 games below a 53. They'd only had 6 such games in the last 10 years, excluding anything against Texas and Oklahoma, who obviously aren't in the league. Yesterday, they were darn close to hitting that mark again, just a 54 run block grade. So West Virginia ate them up in that area. Let's talk defense for West Virginia for a second. We asked the question, could West Virginia get pressure on Alan Bowman if needed? Talked about how quickly he unloaded the ball. It was difficult to get home against them. Tony, you mentioned the 1 sack they had given up. That was number 1 nationally coming into the game. Oklahoma State was number 3 nationally last year in that category. They just didn't give up sacks.
Right.
He unloaded in a hurry. West Virginia came out and got 2 yesterday. Doubled the amount of sacks they'd given up all year. They had 5 tackles for loss as well. So the defense overall, you could see it just played incredibly, incredibly well. West Virginia now over 30 points again. That's 11 of the last 13 games you've scored more than 30 points. Pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you want some grades?
What was that again?
11 of 13 games over 30 points.
That's good.
That's pretty good. Okay, you want grades?
Yes.
These offensive grades are silly. They're so good. Wyatt Milam, your top-graded Mountaineer. Number 2, you talk about something that's sneaky, Tony?
Yeah.
Here's something sneaky. Guy they talked about at the end of fall practice, right before games began, to keep an eye on. This tight end position's really coming on for West Virginia. Jack Samarco, second highest graded Mountaineer. Had 21 snaps, so not a ton of snaps yesterday's game, but really good grade for him. Samarco's playing.
They say they like him. He sticks his face in there and blocks.
Your 7th highest graded Mountaineer, Traylon Davis. He's really playing as well. He's starting to come along. And how about that first pass play of the game to him?
Yes.
I love that pattern. Tony, they split your tight end out and not your pass catching tight end. Put Traylon Davis out there, he runs down the field, and he basically just went to the block. They just ordered him down to the block. He turned, kind of squared up, put his hand up. Great entry pass from point guard Garrett Green. Entered it into the post, moved the chains.
Yeah.
Just used his big old body because that was good coverage too. He just went down, turned around, and I'm just going to clear you out. That's pretty nice. I like
him.
Remack, your 3rd highest graded Mountaineer. Jaheim White, 4. Garrett Green, 5. Pretty good. Nico right up there as well, top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just like to have some. Brad, the downside of what you say is it's a week-to-week business. You love to carry over that performance to next week, but
New opponent, new team that's riding high,
Yes.
right? Just totally different situation. That's why it's week to week. I think what you do try and take week to week is some improvement because, as we often say, this just in also, you're allowed to improve as the season goes on. That's something you can do. How about defensive grades? Take a guess. There's a lot of options here. Take a guess on the highest graded or the best graded Mountaineer defender.
Joseph?
No, although he was 4. Very good game from Joseph.
Trotter?
No, Trotter, very good. Top 5. I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Fatorma Mulba.
I was just going to go there, but you guys don't believe me because I didn't say it, so I shouldn't say it.
No, I believe you if you say you were going to say
Yeah,
it.
he beat that center up.
Fatorma Mulba,
Beat
your
the center
highest
up.
graded Mountaineer. Number 2, and I think this is super encouraging because, again, I thought this was one, if you just watched the game, this will back up what your eyes told you. Aiden Garnes was really good.
Yeah,
Really good.
he was showing himself.
He defended a couple passes, knocked a couple down. One had the interception that was in his hands. He just couldn't hold on in that contested play. I thought Garnes, I thought gave you yesterday what you had been hearing about him all leading up, right? You saw the speed. You saw the ability to close. He was really good. TJ Jackson right up there again. He continues to have an unbelievable all Big 12 type of year, so he was really good as well. Here's a guy that's quietly making some plays. Ty French only got 18 snaps in there, but he was good. You probably called his name a couple of times.
More so than in the past.
Yeah, so that was really good to see. So just overall, I mean, we could go on and on about all this stuff. Just really good grades across the board, as you would expect from a game that looked like it should produce some really good grades.
So what's it mean? So you take a look at the Big 12, and this weekend you had some results that were interesting, right? Surprise on Friday night. Houston goes in and absolutely gives the Three Stooges 2 fingers in the eyes to TCU.
And TCU seems super unsettled
Yeah.
as a program. I know they went to national championship a couple years ago. They have been going the other direction
they're up
for a
and
couple
down.
years.
They're up and down.
And TCU, previously under a previous administration was known for that tough defense. I mean, Houston just ran over them.
Yeah, 30-19 that final. Baylor and Iowa State, the Iowa Staters kind of choked them out. It was 7-3 Baylor after one quarter. Then Iowa State outscored them 16-7, 14-7, 10-0. In the fourth, they win 43-21.
They've found some skill guys. Their 2 receivers are big, physical, very good. They've got another shifty running back in there. We've talked about Rocco Beck. He just continues to be really solid, efficient with the ball, and he's added a new element this year. He's not Pat White, but he'll tuck it and take off on you. He's a little bit dangerous now with his legs. So this is a stiff test coming in next week, no question.
UCF has now lost 2 games in a row. They had inflated stats on their run game up until the last 2 weeks. Yesterday, Florida beat them 24-13, and they ran for just over 100 yards in the entire game. Remember they had just stupid numbers, so they'll go to 3-2. Yeah, 1-1.
Does schedule strength matter?
Yes. No. Yes. No. I mean, it does and it doesn't.
Right.
You know what I mean.
It does and it doesn't. That's right.
Kansas is just absolutely
reeling.
I don't like using that word snake bit because I really never understood it. But they're snake bit. They have lost 5 straight games in extremely dramatic fashion. And the Arizona State game, there was 35 points scored in the fourth quarter. I think 5 straight possessions back and forth it went. They lose 35-31. And look at this. Arizona State's now 4-1 overall, 1-1 in loop play. KU's 1-5.
Arizona State's exceeded their season win total already.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then Texas Tech and Arizona. Red Raiders, that's a big win on the road,
They're starting to play.
That's a big win on the road. They win at 28-22. All of a sudden, they're 5-1, 3-0.
They got a lot of love in the summer about being a potential dark horse in this league, and then they came out in week 1 and didn't look very good, and everybody wrote them off. Imagine that, Hoppy.
Yeah.
They're actually starting to live up to that now. That's a dangerous team that West Virginia will see here later on in the season.
Thanksgiving weekend. Mm-hmm. That's the last game of the regular season at their place.
Ooh.
So we'll see what happens. So what's it all mean?
And real quick, I'm sorry. So Arizona loses at home 1 week after going on the road and winning at Utah, which is an extremely difficult place. So one of the things that's come to fruition is this league balanced?
Very balanced.
It's hard to get a win in this league. Anytime you get one, you should be thrilled.
What it does now is it sets up what Mountaineer fans, I think, just absolutely cherish and embrace. We're coming into the month of October. It'll be the second Saturday of October, and you're going to have 2 straight games at home against nationally ranked teams. You're 2-0 in the league. What more can you want? You start off here with Saturday night football against Iowa State. So there's a pep in the step. Now the question is, can you get it done at home? Can you get these done? These are the games that make your season, that put the descriptor on what the season was. They passed with a flying grade, obviously, yesterday. Now, can you come back home? The place is going to be absolutely electric. Get it.
Yes, agree with all that. Yesterday was about getting one back because if you looked at the schedule, I think you had penciled in a win over Pitt. I think you thought you would beat Pitt because you thought you would be better. And Pitt turns out has a pretty good quarterback. And still probably West Virginia should have won the game except for a couple of oddities in that game. But you get it back by winning on the road at Oklahoma State. So now I feel like you're almost even as to how this season, should be going or could be going. And now can you take the next step forward by winning one of these next 2? I'm not sure you win the next 2, but can you win 1 of 2, Brad? Can you win 2 of 3?
Yeah, you'll see. And again, I think the approach, I know it's cliche when Neil says this, but it is what the team should be. Just take 1 week at a time here. And so you take this next game against a team. And listen, here's the thing if you're Iowa State. If I'm on the Iowa State podcast right now, I am absolutely giddy. They're 5-0 for the first time since the 80s, guys. This is a program that has not had much success traditionally over 100 and some years. They're in some uncharted territory here. So you've got an Iowa State team coming in that feels really good about itself, but there's got to be an element of that fan base for sure that's going, are we okay? Are we okay here? What are we doing here? And you're going to walk into a stadium that's going to be on its ear at night, with new uniforms out there, which does add something. That's not just a marketing ploy there. Those guys, Tony, will be giddy to put that stuff on and go out there.
I agree with you.
So you've now got a really good setup. This is a difficult place for a really good Iowa State team to come in and play, and this sets up a really fun game. But just win this game because we talked all summer. This 5-game stretch in the conference to open the season was a beast on paper, and it still is a beast in real life. You're out of the gates 2-0 on that. Mm-hmm. Just keep coming. Just keep playing well here.
And you're a home dog with that crowd.
Can't ask for anything more.
Yeah,
you can't ask for anything more.
It's a great setup.
If I'm a Mountaineer fan, what more do you want?
I'd be more worried if you were a favorite.
Yeah. What more? What do you think the line's going to be, Senator?
Well, the look ahead was 4.5. Iowa State was favored by 4.5. That'll come back a little bit now that West Virginia looks so good on the road, but it'll be close. You probably will still be a home dog at night.
Hey, Tony, we don't. And I try to follow Brad's lead on this, and that is we don't care about opponents, and if they're suffering, we don't have any empathy for them.
Correct.
But you were there. You talked to the Oklahoma State people. What is going on there?
They tell me that the loss of Nick Martin was massive.
Okay.
They say he's the whole, he's there, if you want to go back in Mountaineer lore, he's the Grant Wiley of their defense. Mm-hmm. Basically controlled everything, did everything. They said that's a massive loss. And then obviously the Bowman situation is very fluid. He can't move at all. Nowadays, you watch these quarterbacks who has success, guys that have wheels to at least extend plays to get out of the pocket. That's going on. The fact that they don't have, they used to, and up until this year, really good blocking tight ends and fullbacks that really keyed their running game. Not there.
Okay.
Josh Ford is a true freshman tight end for them in Stillwater. Dave Hunziker, their play-by-play guy, told me he'll be an NFL player, but he's just a baby. He's a true freshman, and they're playing him. So they got a lot of that kind of stuff going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just
by the way, nicest people in the world.
Oh, absolutely.
Nicest people in the world.
You do wonder, though, unless it was just a play, it was a mistake or a play designed to fool everybody, and that is they're down to 5 and Bowman, it's a Bowman run. And you go, that's interesting.
Actually, what you said was thank you. If you're West Virginia, you said thank you for calling that play. Can I do a couple more numbers here?
Well, sure.
So we gloss over this a lot, but it's really key number one when you go into any game, right? But it's just kind of a given, Hop, so we don't talk about it enough. Those turnovers were massive. You played clean. You didn't turn the ball over and got 2 from them, right? And not only does that help you in the obvious with what it helps you with, but you saw this last year from about mid-season on. It allows Neil, when you're keeping the ball and you can trust that you're not going to give it away, the playbook starts adding pages, right? I think they come over with a 3-ring binder, and they come back out of the locker room as you go another drive without a turnover, and they bring a new sheet of paper, and they pop that 3-ring binder. You know how you do that? Or you take the clips on the end and you pull it open. You can do it either way, two ways to open it.
I like the sound it makes, too, when it shuts.
Yeah. You put the page right in there, and then you just did that a couple different times. Unveiled some new plays yesterday, some new formations, some new motion, so that playbook starts to get a little more expanded as you protect the football.
You know, we say this all the time. It's not a really difficult thing to figure out. If you don't beat yourself, you have a hell of a chance to win.
The other guys will screw it up.
So West Virginia didn't turn the ball over, and they did twice. One inside the red zone, right? So it's not that hard to figure out. Just don't beat yourself.
That helps in a lot of ways. And then here's the other number that we don't talk about. There's been a period of college football about 10 years where you didn't talk about this at all because of what the offenses were doing. Everybody was running tempo.
I know where you're going.
That's kind of phased itself out of football now. And now you go with 6 tight ends and you run the ball, and it's a different game. That air raid stuff, the straight pass it all the time, go fast, really is kind of starting to phase out. So now we can talk time of possession again.
Good Lord.
And for a West Virginia team that likes to run it, time of possession, Hoppy, is going to matter. And this just in, when you possess the ball a lot and your defense can rest, generally your defensive performance is a little bit better.
Right.
Is yesterday a good example of this?
As big as I've ever seen.
42 minutes and 36 seconds time of possession for West Virginia. Kept the ball for 42 and a half minutes. Really good. Oklahoma State had it for 17 minutes and 24 seconds, plus 25 minutes time of possession. Hello.
How about this? West Virginia's defense played 45 snaps. Played 45 snaps. Oklahoma State's defense played 81 snaps.
Yeah. On a 90
on a hot day. 81 snaps.
Also, you want one other one?
Sure.
On your 81 snaps?
Yeah.
You had 31 first downs.
Oh, I know. Stupid
on
number.
81 snaps. So 31 plays went for first downs, right? Out of your 81. So almost 40% of your plays went for a first down.
And when you have that time of possession and that run game going, and you got the big lead, I mean, as a Mountaineer fan, you're always paranoid, like they're going to come back and score 40 points.
No, I know. You're right.
We did it at halftime.
You're right.
Like, well, you just got to keep going, get a couple more touchdowns here. Got to keep coming. Game's not over. Got half a game left here.
And then when they came out and they got the first possession of the second half and they had to punt, and in your head you're thinking, they're only going to get about 5 possessions, right?
Yeah.
So
it was actually embarrassing for us how much we did the math. Okay, they just had to punt there. They're probably only going to get 4 possessions. If they score 4 touchdowns here, you really just need one more field.
I mean, I get it.
We did it every possession yesterday.
Well, I understand. Well, you know why? Because you lost a 10-point lead earlier this season with 4:55 to go. So you're going like
you got
30 minutes to go. 30 minutes to go. Yeah, I get that. I get it.
That's why the reality was there was no chance that team yesterday was coming back.
But you still think about it. There was debate when it was West Virginia goes for it on 4th down. We had this big internal debate. Do you kick the field goal there because that gives you 34? And then
well, it's interesting. So
maybe you want the 3 points here. Neil, should you kick the field goal?
I've got these.
Neil says no. They give me 4 downs. I'm going for it every time.
Use the 4th down.
I've got these 2 dudes that I've befriended over the last probably 4 years now. I met them for the first time in Austin when I needed a stats guy. And now they live in Austin, fell in love with the Mountaineers, and they come and work whenever West Virginia gets anywhere close. Anywhere in Texas, they're there with me. One drove and one flew to Oklahoma State.
Really?
And so at halftime, you look at the score and you go like, well, things are going pretty well here, 31. So I said, but you got to – and the guy looked at me and he went like, you're not losing this game.
So you're like, well, hold on. You just don't know how this works.
He said, I'm just telling you that they can't. And I said, but he was right. Sometimes you have to have an independent voice in there to help you through. And also, classy move, Neil Brown, end of the game.
Yeah, take a knee.
Take the knee a couple of times. Don't try to rub it in there. He respects Mike Gundy a ton. Just like, okay, we're out. Which sometimes to me is even more satisfying than scoring an additional touchdown. I'm going to tell you something. Could if I want to, not going to. I'm just going to keep it right here. See you later.
Well, you already had the cover. Had the cover.
Yeah, the cover in the first 5 minutes.
Already had the cover.
All right, James Franklin.
Told you the under.
Oh, the under.
Highest total of the week, right? You always look under.
Okay.
Here's something for
Now,
you.
there are other coaches that know what the spread is. They say they don't know the spread, but they know the spread, and they make sure they score late to make sure they cover the spread, even though they'll tell you they didn't do it to cover the spread, even though that's 100% what they did to do it to cover the spread.
James Franklin.
Neil was not one. It was already covered.
James Franklin. Hey, say this. Are your taste buds craving for a taste that's out of this world? Look no further than the timeless taste of a moon pie.
Excuse me?
The perfect combination of fluffy marshmallow, buttery graham cracker, and rich chocolate. Moon pie's the ultimate snack for any time, day or night. Don't wait for the craving to strike. Grab a moon pie or 9 at your local Go-Mart and blast into flavor.
Those are kind of retro, aren't they?
They
Absolutely
are. Well, it's a standard of the test of time. It's a classic. It's a classic convenience store purchase. It's the moon pie. I got people looking into this, not sure. At Go-Mart, they now have moon pies that are big as manhole covers. I had a guy walk out the other day, just had one over, just carried it.
Can you buy those in packs of 2?
Yes, you can. So when it comes time for Go-Mart, stop, get the moon pie, ask if they've got one as big as a manhole cover. If not, by chance, just get the regular size and get that Go-Mart rewards card and immediately begin saving on your food and your fuel. It's Go-Mart. Go for good times. Go for Go-Mart.
Do you think you can walk in, Mark and Michael here in the Morgantown store, should I just walk in and start hollering for where the moon pies are?
Manhole moon pie. Manhole moon pie.
Piece of those moon pies.
Goes back to the Chattanooga Bakery in Chattanooga, Tennessee in 1917, according to ChatGPT.
Wow, how about that? Textual Healing is brought to us by episode 800.com. Episode 800.com, where we have all of our stuff, our merchandise. All 3 of us are wearing different items today. And you can get all of those at the Three Guys website, which is episode800.com.
Broke mine out for autumnal reasons.
I like you. You went quarter zip. Hoppy's brought the quarter zip out, which is a nice. Look at that.
Nice.
So he's got the quarter zip. Brad went old school with his golf shirt, Three Guys, and I've got this is Peter Millar, right?
Peter Millar with the
new
logo,
Three Guys logo,
representing all the options.
All right, so as you know, or you may not know, but we'll tell you, we're doing the food court again every game this season. That means this coming Friday and Saturday. And we've got some slides and stuff to let you know what's going on. Here's a couple of items. We will have hats for sale. Those Three Guys hats will be available.
Brad, how design?
And we will have we'll have some of that too. That's if you're looking live, that is Connection 304.
That's a good one.
That beer continues to do tremendous things. There's one half done. There's the can. We'll have it on. You can buy it by the 6-pack or buy it by the draught. You can buy it by the draught as well. And, boy, it's a fine-looking beer.
Man.
It's an Appalachian ale right there. Looks good.
Hey, on those hats,
Yeah?
a couple things. Hoppy wore the one to the last food court, the blue hat with the gold Three Guys, new Three Guys logo.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have those.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But you know what else?
What?
It's a blackout, right?
Yeah. Can I get a black one for Friday?
Team's going to wear all black.
Yeah.
Oh.
We've got black for sale. Black hat, white logo on it.
At the websites or
Nope, at the food court.
At the
be
food
available.
court.
Both versions. Blackout if you want the blackout one to wear into the game. We've also got the traditional gold and blue.
Can I get a free one to wear Friday?
No.
Okay.
Only for sale.
Okay.
Thank you. We're going to be so here. If you're coming to the game and you want to do a big tailgate, Rev Kev's Barbecue obviously will be there. You can order your pans. So there it is. There's the graphic. 4 until 9 Friday, 9 until 6 on Saturday. Hudson Clement's dad, Mike.
Hold on. We have a graphic.
Yeah,
Is that new?
yeah. Homeless Dave did it
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
in his spare
interrupted you.
time.
Who's going to be there?
We're using WVU students actually to do that stuff. They do a fantastic job where it's a part of our internship program with the school.
I'm not seeing that. It's very good. I'm sorry. Who's going to be there? I interrupted.
Mike Clement, Huddy's dad, is going to perform a couple of sets probably after 6 on Friday. We'll have the barbecue there. If you'd like to order the tailgate pan, which has 8 pounds, a fully cooked brisket sliced, 2 pounds of pulled pork, 2 pounds of chicken, feeds 17 to 18 people, $200. All the proceeds go to thesourcewv.org. Go to the website to order, thesourcewv.org. Plus, we're selling a bunch of other stuff inside the food court. Check it out. Texter says, I'm listening to the Oklahoma State preview, and I hear that Nate Adrian is now playing in Japan, and Tony said he drove. I understand, unconfirmed, that he actually took a Lou Wendell Marine pontoon boat over Mike and Myrtle. Did he do that?
Ocean.
I have a text into him, have not heard back yet.
Well, I tell you this. If in fact he did, it wouldn't surprise me. Lou Wendell Marine Sales is the single largest pontoon boat dealer in our great state of West Virginia, family-owned for 4 decades, recognized as the state's premier pontoon boat dealer. And if they've got that tag, they're probably the best marine service availability for you. They sell the Avalon pontoon boats, which are manufactured right here in the United States of America. Check them out.
Refueled in Tahiti.
Had to get some gas. Stopped at the Go-Mart in Tahiti. They also sell boat fuel. Also at Lou Wendell, they got the Gator Tough John series. Durability, dependability, and value needed for the avid outdoorsman. G3 John boats and more. Lou Wendell Marine Sales.com. Texter says, I'm starting off game weekend with a Mountaineer combo from Tudors. Let's get a big road win today. Brandon in Barrackville. There it is. You are looking live at a Tudors biscuit. And Hoppy, again, thank you very much for giving one.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'd like to bring a smile to your old faces.
Very good.
Texter says West Virginia ran for 389, 2 penalties, didn't turn the ball over, had 42 minutes of possession. Hard to lose when you put up those numbers, yes.
What page are you on?
Second.
I'm still on the second page now. Glenn from Scott Depot reports that winter is here. There it is. First sunset before 7 o'clock.
Such a bummer.
Thursday, October 3. Look at that. Sundown before 7 bells. Ugh.
You know, Tony, the days get shorter now.
I'm well aware. Thank you.
Yeah.
Clock doesn't go till next month, right? We don't move that clock.
Early November, I believe.
Is it November now?
I guess it is. Texter, I've got a West Virginia connection story. The family and I were in Connecticut on the bye week, music festival. Showed my daughter where she was born while I was in the Navy. Guy behind us overhears us talking and asks, you guys, by chance, from West Virginia? We proudly say yes. He said, well, guess what? Me too. I graduated from West Virginia in 2014. Always a connection.
Of course there is.
Hey, 3 guys, at the beginning of the year, most realistic expectations had us at 3-2 after the first 5. Reality is that we are still 3-2, but I think we're in a better place since we're 2-0 in the league instead of 1-1. What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
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 Having a 0 on the right side of the hyphen in your league record,
it's a good thing.
It's good. Texter, I'd love it if 3 guys would begin efforting to bring a Tudor's Biscuits to a beautiful Punta Gorda, Florida. Leonard and Lila Howell.
We know somebody.
We got franchise people.
Folks.
She was in here.
Wonderful. Her and her husband.
Yeah,
wonderful.
great people. Yeah, we can do franchise opportunities. They're actually taking franchisees for Tudor's Biscuit World. Just contact them, and they're ready to put one in there. Texter, this is funny as hell.
3 guys Tudors franchise.
Hey.
Get Homeless Dave on that.
Upgrade from hats and quarter zips. Let's go and get a franchise.
Get food. Yeah.
This next text is funny.
Okay.
Someone sent it to the wrong number. This was not supposed to come to us.
Okay.
I'll read it.
Okay.
Hello. Glad that you've arrived safely. My husband caught sight of the top of the hot tub lid when he came home.
Do you need to stop now?
It can only be glimpsed from the road if it isn't folded back using the assist bar. He would like to stop by and show you how the system works. It will make opening the tub much easier. Would that be okay?
Yeah, that'd be okay. 3 guys says that would be okay.
I saw that and I went like, I'm using that. Sorry, wrong number. This next one, we go.
Somewhere there's somebody going,
how the hell you use this hot tub? This next one, we go from funny to very somber. Michael J., MJ from Augusta, Georgia. We were hit hard by Hurricane Helene. 4 big trees fell on our house, one missing my daughter's bedroom by about 5 feet. Look at this. Look at these trees.
Oh,
just got electricity back Thursday, still without the cable and Wi-Fi. Lost my West Virginia flag on my front lawn during the storm. The neighbor found it 2 days later under a brush pile. Just watched the most complete game West Virginia's played in a couple of years and made it my day. That's lifted my spirits tremendously. Go Mountaineers. Look at that. The tree into the house.
Jeez.
That's his daughter's room.
Oh, my gosh.
So look at that.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing. And there's the flag. Found the flag 2 days later. All right, here's another one. Thank you, three guys, for the podcast and having Sportsline and Talkline in podcast form. They've helped a lot this week to be able to listen and get my mind off the days without power in the Augusta, Georgia area with the effects of Hurricane Helene, where we had winds gusting to 100. The wind today capped off a long week, even though I had to enjoy it the old way of radio through listening to it on a radio app. Justin in Augusta. So they got crushed. I didn't realize Augusta got it so bad. Hey, guys, I listened to the preview and heard the text from the folks in Asheville, North Carolina. I have spent the day running convoys up from North Georgia from local churches. The folks I saw on the ground working for these stranded, damaged people were truly inspiring. I'm from Grafton. I know how determined and resilient people from Appalachia are. It was on full display today. Of course, I wore my flying WV hat, and the guy said my mom was from Morgantown.
Of course she was.
We spoke, we prayed, fellowshipped. He was grateful for Mountaineer Nation coming to aid our North Carolina brethren. The devastation is real, and we're going back next week to assist more. Love the show. The blessings and perspective from Asheville, unmatched. Matt from Telmo, Georgia.
Good work, Matt.
Texter says, we spent the day at a family reunion next door to the Apple Harvest Festival in Burlington. That's in Mineral County. We took turns with the paddle and made 16 gallons of apple butter.
Wow.
I put the lid on the last jar at 3 p.m., started the hour of goodbye so we could hit the road and listen to the game while the kids took a nap. Too bad for them. The car stayed loud as West Virginia kept scoring and getting stops. The only downside of the day was a quick stop at Go-Mart World Headquarters. When I mentioned they were out of the Connection 304, the queen of Go-Mart World Headquarters said, yeah, if you want something, we don't have it, but we have everything you weren't looking for. She was right. I grabbed a miniature 5-pound Reese's pumpkin and the short 6-foot Slim Jim. Lesson learned. Make that pit stop on the way to and not on the way back. Signed Ben from Hurricane. P.S. Don't feel too bad for the players at Oklahoma State because their coach is a man. Hey, guys. First-time texter, multi-year listener. Semi-long text alert about how I met homeless Dave. I work at Fairmont State. Friday, I was invited last minute to sit at the president's table during the Athletic Hall of Fame banquet. I was advised a suit would be too much, and weirdly enough, I didn't have a good sport coat. So, with 3 hours before the event, I sped over to Daniels in Morgantown to see if I could just get something off of the rack to get by. I'd been to Daniels many times, but have never actually gotten a chance to meet fine-looking Phil. I walked in and explained the situation. And expecting to hear bad news. However, much to my surprise, he informed me he would have a tailored coat in 45 minutes.
Line up with a master tailor back there just ready to go at a moment's notice.
I was so excited, I had to introduce myself and explain to him that I hear about him almost twice a week. He looked confused at first, but all I could say was, 3 guys. He threw me a grin and said, hey, homeless Dave's right over there. Before I could even move, fine-looking Phil brought homeless Dave over, and I officially met 2 legends of the 3 guys mentioned index, TGMI. And I got a fine-looking coat from fine-looking Phil on the fly, all in a good day. I'm stoked for the Iowa State game. Hope to get to meet one or all of you at the first time at the food court. Thanks for what you do. You make the bad days a little bit better and the good days great. Nothing like a 3 guys episode after a win. Let's grab another one in Morgantown next week and keep the momentum going. Signed by Spencer in Morgantown.
That's how you do it, Spencer. I hope he bought some blackout gear while he was in there. The blackout gear over at Phil's is elite, Hoppy. It's elite. Already flying off the shelves, by the way.
Also, you know, as a part-time employee,
yes,
right, that service, you go in and go, you probably can't help me at short notice, but I need a sport jacket. What's Phil do?
Walked over, pulled a sport jacket out, had 3 of them laid out, said, which one do you like? Gentleman Spencer picks the one he likes. They try it on. Phil has the tape measure and the pins. He already has the pins right in the jacket.
He always keeps them in his...
The pins there's about 35 pins right in the cuff of the jacket.
Yeah.
So you go over to the mirrors, quad mirror, you stand in front of it. He pins it, says, wait right here. Feel free to look around. We'll be right back with you. Takes it in the back. My man Ebo is ready. Ebo, you hand him the stuff.
One of the greatest.
A little chalk mark in the pins. Yeah. He bangs it up. You say, there's your suit, Spencer. Enjoy your evening tonight.
Well, yeah,
Phil lives for a challenge. Yeah. Like if you come in and just go like, yeah, I'm give you your size. Like, okay, that's a standard. Phil waits for the guy to come in and go, well, you see,
One arm is longer than the other.
My other arm's 3 inches, and they feel like those. Oh, is that right?
Handles
I'll
it.
tell you something.
He loves that. Get that.
Now,
chalk
if
out.
you can give him some time, it's a little bit better. For
Well,
the
sure.
alternates, it's better. But on an emergency situation, handle it.
I like it when he gets the chalk out.
I love the
He
chalk.
likes the chalk.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
This is Justin
right
from
there. Just pull
Tulsa
those
by the
pins
way
out,
of
pins
Lincoln County. The other day I was hitting golf balls on the range when I overheard someone say, "We were up by 10 and blew the game at Pitt." I immediately walked over and said, "You talking about the Mountaineers?" To which he replied, "Are you Matt from Tulsa?" We got together yesterday afternoon for a pregame round of golf, and since we're members of the same club, it won't be our last. He's a great guy. We'll be at the game. Oh, this is an old one. We're at the game day. It's my 43rd birthday. All I want for my birthday is a win. Let's go. So there he is. Picture of the two guys. Have we done this one
No,
before?
I don't think
it's
we've
first
done that
time.
one.
Well, how many guys have we put together
A
on
lot.
golf course all over? Like,
What-
do we have
what's the
guys in
hashtag?
Arizona too?
What's the hashtag connection?
304.
Connection 304.
There it is.
So those two buddies now are buddies because they're West Virginia guys, and they met because of three guys. That's awesome.
We got the culmination of that is we need to get a marriage.
No, we don't. Just stop there. We're not doing that.
We're not doing that?
No, because when the divorce happens, they'll pin it on us. We don't want that.
Okay, fair.
T-Dub in Barbersville, in-game text. Quincy Marchiol lined up and erased every highlight reel number 9 for Oklahoma State ever had.
Did he or did he not run over a guy?
Before I could finish the text, GG out of the phone booth into the end zone.
Was that it?
That's a good text.
Did you have a good call on that, Tony?
Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
it was good.
Hey, was that a safety or a corner? Who did he run over?
And that was a linebacker.
It was a linebacker?
Linebacker.
Wow.
Forget the rushing yards. Most impressive stat of the half. West Virginia 43 plays, 20 first downs. Might as well rename it Milan Pickens Stadium. Was not expecting this outcome.
Tell you what, the textures are on fire today.
They are. Good game. Great day to be a Mountaineer. Texter, I'm sure the show is going to be much more fun after a game like that. Yes. Charlie from Midlothian writes, since Brad was not happy with all the Frankie Valli songs popping up on his phone, with all due respect,
Yes.
here are some song titles from today's blowout win. Oh, What a Night in Stillwater. Walk Like a Man, signed by Garrett Jaheim and CJ. OSU's defense was like a rag doll. That's a Valli song. And Big Cowgirls Do Not Cry. That's big. You know that song? Big Girls Don't Cry. Yeah, yeah.
Was that crowd thinning out, Tony?
Woo. Yeah, by the snap. By the snap. I can get it. Logan from Greenbrier County, definitely a great win for the world champs, ready for the coal rush. He points out that he says, I've noticed over the last 2 games, every time a Batman movie gets released in theaters, West Virginia won the last 2 games.
Causation
September
correlation.
20, September 20, Batman 1989 released for its 35th anniversary. Next day, we beat Kansas. This weekend, Joker 2 gets released. We beat Oklahoma State. I appreciate the work you guys do. That's bizarre.
Release
What's
some
going
more
on?
movies.
Logan, what's going on in your head? Stop it. Let's give some love to the D. Never happier to be wrong. Who had the Mountaineers rushing for $400 on their dance card or holding Bowman and Gordon under 250, respectively? And shout out to the O-line, Doug in Bridgeport. Will in Charlottesville. This was really the first WVU game I got to watch beginning to end with my son, who's 20 months old, where it wasn't interrupted by a nap or a bedtime. It was an extremely rewarding experience even before we were up 31-7 at half. Any insight into how West Virginia avoided their sluggish road start problems of the past? Extra Reese's, pumpkins, and fly rod Slim Jims from Gomart on the plane?
I don't think you can underestimate what that off week meant, because WVU A had a chance to get healthy, B had a chance to self-scout, right, Brad, and C just had a chance to make corrections.
And here's the other thing that's underrated. Neil mentioned this, and he even said what in his postgame that when he says this stuff, everybody kind of goes, yeah. You can teach too, right? That's one thing that kind of gets lost during the season. You don't have enough time to teach because you're on to the game plan and the next thing, and they spent some time doing that. And again, you can get better.
Yeah.
You're allowed to get better throughout the season. They
You know,
did this week.
Another thing to put into the equation, West Virginia had the off week. Oklahoma State had just played Utah and Kansas State.
Yeah.
That's
5
a-
consecutive weeks.
Here's the
6
bad news.
straight weeks.
Here's the
Yeah,
bad
that was
news,
their
though.
6, yeah.
West Virginia's got 3 opponents coming up that'll have an off week before they play West Virginia. Texter, you asked for it. Here is my daughter yesterday in Stillwater post-game. Wayne in Clarksburg. Let's listen in. Here's his daughter on a videotape that they sent in. Wayne's daughter sending in.
Thanks for having us.
Hit that again.
Do it again.
Hit that again. Can you hit it again?
Play it again.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having us. Just taunting. Thank you very much.
By the way, those shirts available at episode800.com. The thanks for having us shirts.
Those are nice.
That's well done.
Josh from
Rick, that really was one of the ideal thanks for having us moments.
Yeah, it was.
Right?
It was.
Yeah, it was.
You go on the road.
Yeah. Something neat
Dominate.
happened.
You're not bitter. It's not good. It's just like, hey, good luck the rest of the season. Thanks for having us. Yeah. Hope you get it together.
Late in the game.
Well, I don't know that you say that at the end.
Oh, okay.
Late in the game, they had the Mountaineer fans' seats up in the upper right corner of the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And late in the game, it's probably like 3, 4, 5 minutes to go, there was a timeout. One of the 98 timeouts that lasted 9 minutes each. And all of the Mountaineer fans got up almost in unison, and they came down and positioned themselves down right at the front row so that they could greet the Mountaineers on their way out. Thought that was.
Was there an informal country roads?
There was a lot of country roads going on. Country roads on the plane.
Oh, really?
Very loud. Yes, very good. Josh from Bancroft, super proud of this team to get the W in dominant fashion against a team who has been our kryptonite since joining the league. It was men against boys with 389 on the ground compared to their 36. Me being always finding a negative in any game. Great. And today it comes to our kicking team. The field is 53 wide for the love of God. A D1 kicker should either kick it through the end zone or keep it in bounds. We kick it out of bounds. They score in 2 plays. We have to correct the issue moving forward since it happened numerous times.
Tony, question. Oh, I'm sorry. You want to finish that?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Is that typically West Virginia tries to kick it to that left corner, and one of them, it might have been the return, they kicked it to the right corner. Do you know what that was about?
No, I'm probably just trying not to kick it to the left corner.
Oh, okay.
Which is sometimes why it gets pulled out of bounds there. They're trying to play. He's had some unbelievable placements, too, where he's dropped it right in there in the corner. So you're dealing with a small margin for error. I wouldn't worry too much about that.
He adds, other than that, I feel like we are about to see something special in Morgantown next Saturday under the lights. Need the fans to turn out, blacked out, show them what home field advantage in Morgantown is on the night game. There's still tickets for that, by the way.
Really?
Good chunk of tickets still there.
They holding back on what might be a fantastic light show? They holding some stuff back they could use?
I don't know about that. I'm not sure.
Right.
I do know this, that like there's a 1-day fall break this week. Like the kids don't have school Friday.
Huh?
Yeah.
What?
What do you mean a one-day fall break? What is
fall
that?
break? What's that mean?
I was told by one of the athletic department officials there's some
is
kind
that
of a
about?
fall break this week that the kids might go home on Friday. Day off Friday.
Why?
I don't get it, man. This fall break crap, like who started that?
Well, when we were in college, you had the week off at Thanksgiving.
Well, yeah, that's Thanksgiving. It's October, first Saturday October. You need a break.
I'm with you.
Go to school.
Of course, my class schedule might have been a little light on Friday, too, looking back.
Hoppy sold when he came here. They had classes Saturday morning. Did the world champs walk into the crowd and borrow some of those paddles? Because they sure whipped up on the pokes today. Let's keep up the same mojo for the Coal Rush. Lawman from Fairmont. Did not hear the paddles yesterday.
Not a lot of chance to use them.
No, paddling dissipated.
Guys' Night Out was a great success here in Charleston. It was great to see Connection 304 being served on draft. Kudos to whoever made this happen. By the way, great win for the Mountaineers. Let's do it again. So they've got it on tap down somewhere in Charleston. He doesn't ID where. It was Guys' Night Out for 3 guys out. Guys' Night Out. Awesome. Hope you enjoy it.
Parkersburg Brewing's rolling right now on that, aren't they? Aren't they brewing and distributing as we speak?
They've got trucks distributing beer all over the state. Maybe.
Probably running 24 hours a day, I would think.
Probably, yeah.
I haven't confirmed that. I'll check.
7 days a week.
Probably.
Well, now that strike's over at the docks,
That took care of it.
you get that overseas.
The longshoremen at the Morgantown Lock and Dam have come back to work. Texter, I think we all need to recalibrate our thinking in this playoff era. As maddening as the Penn State and Pitt losses were, they really don't mean a thing. This team's 2-0 in the league. That's what matters. I don't like the system, and I think it's changing college football into something it wasn't supposed to be, but it is what it is. We need to embrace West Virginia in the hunt for a college football playoff berth. Team looks good. I believe in them. They can win the Big 12, get to the playoffs despite the pain of losing to our rivals, signed by P1, Scott, and Stafford.
I got a little ways to go before that.
Win next week.
Yeah.
Win next week.
Texter, As you may be aware, some of Tudor's biscuits are named after a person. The Dottie and the Mickey are two examples. I feel a great partnership could include the new Three Guys biscuit, a biscuit consisting of triple the bacon, sausage, and ham. Pretty sure I could take 2 of those down. Signed by Craig in Craigsville, and really Craig, not really Craigsville.
Can we?
Well done.
I think that is a reasonable. I don't want to do Tony here, but that could be reasonable because we have a good relationship with the Tudors people that we get to get a Three Guys biscuit.
Get a Three Guys biscuit?
Yeah.
Efforting.
Okay. Really?
No. Well.
Where's home? Get Homeless Dave on that.
Well, one difference between your suggestion and my suggestion.
Yes.
The difference in my suggestion of doing a Three Guys biscuit is we will get a royalty.
Okay.
Only people not getting paid for this podcast are us. Dear Three Guys, expletive, sure. Yeah, let's go. Feels like a complete restart for WVU in a good way. Also, is Brad going to take back his all due respect to Vanderbilt now? Signed by Professor Vinny.
No. Great win. Great single win.
There were more Alabama fans at that game than Vanderbilt fans.
There was.
And the rat poison, huh? Got him.
Jeez, how about that?
Rat poison got him. Now, that may be the magic of Nick Saban because he didn't lose those games, right? Because he just would not allow
Wouldn't allow it, no.
the backslapping and the puffing up and letting you get around. He would crush them probably right after that game against Georgia so that they could be ready to go again the next week.
Are letdown spots real?
Yes.
I brought this up a week or so ago. Someone told me this, a smart person that's not involved with sports, but they said the standard deviation in college athletics is so expansive, that's why that happens. You don't see it in the pro game because they're more mature and the whole thing, but in college, man, you just don't know. Rob in Reedsville checks in. Great win. All due respect to Vanderbilt, he says. Thanks for what you do. Ben from Roanoke. Hey, Three Guys, do you think Nick Malone is the most underrated player in the Big 12? If not, who do you think it is? What a great win in Stillwater. I can't wait to be at the Coal Rush game.
Offensive
Nick's
linemen,
right up there.
I'm sorry, offensive linemen don't get a lot of attention unless they're preseason talked about, but Nick Malone certainly gets a lot of love here.
Having a great year.
Mike from Morgantown.
Top 5 graded offensive player for the West Virginia so far, still.
For the season.
Mm-hmm.
Mike from Morgantown, PA, Reading, PA. Hi, Three Guys. Great game. I saw that Mike Gundy was asked about West Virginia choosing to receive the opening kick. I noticed that pattern, too. Is that an analytics thing? I guess Neil completely explained that postgame.
And that's what he said. He said they have chosen to take the ball first on the possession because over the course of the year, it gives you more offensive possessions. They trust the possessions. What did Dave Weekley had that for us? 11 straight games they've taken the ball. I think, and I went back and checked that, I think you're 7-4 over that time.
Is that what it is?
I think that's right.
Yeah, it's Tony Weekley had that stat. Like 11 straight games, West Virginia's had the ball first. Now, some of that might be they choose it, and some of it is the other team defers. But
right,
11 straight games had the ball first.
Yeah.
So I thought it was interesting that he said more possessions over the course of the year. We like our offense. We'll take it.
Yeah, analytics.
P1 Jason in Phoenix. See, I get Jason in Phoenix, who used to live in Oklahoma, confused with Matt in Tulsa.
Sure. Well, they both play a lot of golf, right?
Oh,
Are they professional golfers?
No, but they could be. Practice more than VJ Singh.
I don't know. They're doing it right.
Now that our conference extends to Arizona.
P1 Jason in Phoenix says, well, that was fun. I'm not back on board with Coach Brown yet, though I obviously hope to be soon. But I'm texting to eat some crow about something else. I listened to the entire postgame, and Coach explained that he takes the ball when winning the toss, a huge pet peeve of mine, because you get more possessions. That's fine. But who cares about possessions? We care about wins. So I ran the numbers. Let's just go right to the numbers. Since the start of the 2003 season, West Virginia has played 264 games. Of those, they've started with the ball 151 times. And in those games, they're an astounding 93-58. That includes some cupcake wins, but not nearly enough to even it out. So I'm enjoying a nice plate of crow. I'm on board with taking the ball now. Please inform Coach Brown, as I'm sure he's eagerly awaiting my approval due to my lengthy Hall of Fame career as a coach. Also, as you can see, I enjoyed – check these out, Brad. I enjoyed the win even more due to financial investments. Let's hold serve at home the next 2 weeks and build some momentum. Look at these numbers. So, Brad, explain to us what we're seeing here. He put $1,000 down.
So he took West Virginia on the money line. Since they were a dog, they were plus money on the money line, 120. He invested $1,000, put $1,000 on the line, paid out $2,200. So he profited $1,200. Well done.
All right, next one. Next one. Is that it? Is there just one, guys? I thought there was more than one. I thought he had a parlay. Yeah, okay. Here's another one.
So he hit it twice.
He hit it twice, but then he had a parlay, too. Do we have
So
a
he took
parlay
West
as well?
Virginia twice on the money line. I tell you what, for not believing in Coach Brown, you're certainly putting a lot of money on him. Maybe you start believing in him.
Okay, is that the
Over 6.5 season win total. He had $3,450, $3,450 down on the over 6.5 win total. Got to get to 7, so he's hoping for a $3,000 profit off of that if West Virginia wins 4 more games.
He's putting down serious money.
Well, he wins it on the golf course.
Good email. Good statistical backup.
Sure.
Probably once in a while you should concede that the guys that are doing that for a living full time probably have a handle on what would make the most sense analytically.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of. I just think I'd go ahead and go with that. They kind of spend a few hours looking at that.
That'd be kind of like Neil going over him and telling him how to project manage the construction of a building.
Probably.
Yeah.
However, props to him for acknowledging.
Well, sure.
That's what I
Rather
like about that.
Yeah, rather than just throwing down,
stood up.
and grousing.
He did lead with "I'm not back on board," even though he's just raking in money off Coach Brown.
Yeah,
just
what do you need?
Just absolutely paying for his golf,
Cash and tickets.
his golf obsession. They're just getting paid for with Coach Brown.
And the bets were on the Mountaineers' success.
Yeah. Well, don't try to apply logic. I'm sure he'll show up when we go to Arizona, right? He's in Phoenix. He'll come down to Tucson.
Should. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Look forward to saying hi.
Texter says that was a nice thanks for having us. Ben in Chicago writes, however, I'd like to point out to Hoppy that you can take a Lou Wendell pontoon boat from Morgantown to Tulsa, as the Arkansas River is navigable from the Mississippi up to Tulsa, and then Oklahoma State kindly provides a shuttle bus from there to the campus.
Thanks for the correction.
Ben in Chicago.
Although you do have to use a shuttle. So,
Yeah. I got to come clean on something.
what?
I discovered a little bit of a, what would you call this? It's not a disease. Syndrome.
Okay.
What?
It reared its ugly head again last night, because last night was the first time we flew this season with the team. So I'm calling it IFSS.
IFSS.
Look it up. IFSS. It's called in-flight stupid syndrome.
I don't know.
So here's
about
what
that.
happens.
Okay.
So you eat things with absolutely no reason whatsoever. Let me tell you what happened. So I didn't get the post-game meal at the stadium. I said, no, I'm good. I'm not even hungry. I'm good. Drive 8 minutes later, get to the Stillwater airport, walk onto the plane. Would you like a hamburger?
Hold on 1 second. And now you're acting like you haven't eaten in 4 days.
Right.
All of a sudden.
Flight attendant right there when you walk out. Would you like the chicken sandwich or would you like the burger? I'll go with the burger.
Nice warm burger. In the foil.
Yeah, in the
Wrap
foil.
in the foil.
Hot.
Sure.
And it's hot. Like if you put it in your pocket,
It's
you
hot.
got to take it out. It's hot.
Yep.
So I sell it, and I sit down in my chair. Well, you sit down in your chair, and there's a Gatorade this big and a bottle of water this big and a bag full of like
You get cheese and crackers in that bag?
Oh, yeah. Grapes.
Cheese and crackers, the crustable peanut butter thing, slice of tomato, 2 slices of tomato, lettuce for your hamburger, things that, crush the hamburger. Crush the hamburger. Watching the
Plane's still not moving.
No.
People still taking their seats.
No. Watch the Baylor game. We have them on your seat. I'm watching Baylor, Iowa State, and I'm awake. Little by little, it starts. Little by little, it starts, and I start in that hazy mode, right? And then it seemed like 8 different times the flight attendants came by, and each time they walked by, they had something else.
Like those baskets, right? Those wicker baskets.
Wicker baskets.
Yeah, the wicker baskets.
Wicker baskets.
Loaded with candy and all.
Yeah, it starts.
Yeah.
Would you like some cheese and crackers?
Yes.
Yes. Don't need it. Still half asleep. That's why it's in-flight stupid syndrome.
Okay.
Or in-flight sleep syndrome.
So by the time I got off that thing,
Sleep eating.
by the time off that, I had cheese and crackers.
Yeah.
That was one time through. Trail mix, bag of peanut M&Ms.
Did you drink the bag of peanut M&Ms? Did you open it? And just,
peanut M&Ms. Then I went into the white bag and ate the grapes.
Yeah.
I
got some fruit in.
I said to myself, how stupid are you? But the thing was, I was literally a half to 3/4 asleep. I'm just putting things in my mouth for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, that's
in-flight stupid syndrome.
Here's what, actually, that's not surprising. What's surprising about this is you've been traveling with the team for a long time. I've been with you on a number of these trips, as have Hoppy. You've always done that. Like, that's not new.
Why are you surprised?
Why are you acting surprised all of a sudden randomly on October 6th?
Because you would think as I get older, I would at least get a little bit smarter.
There's no evidence of that with you,
None
though. There's
whatsoever.
no evidence. That's simply faith-based by you. There's no empirical data that would tell you would get smarter with
I
that.
think you're lucky they didn't come by with one of those credit card applications. Shove that in your mouth.
They don't have the Dove ice cream bars? They don't get those anymore?
Listen, you're not going to believe this. They didn't have ice cream on the plane.
Yeah.
I had 2 ice creams before the game started during pregame and 1 at halftime yesterday.
Why would you do that?
Why do I do that? I don't
mean,
know.
That's coat your throat and everything.
I don't know.
Those are supposed to be treats for the win.
3. So, like I said, Oklahoma State people are the nicest people in the world.
Nice, yeah.
They're people that we're a floor up from them.
Was it a different person each time, I hope, or did the same person see you get 3?
There was a gentleman that came in.
You've already had 2, sir. I'm sorry.
There was a gentleman that came in before the game and said, hey, guys, I'm just checking on you. He said, I want you to know I'm going to bring you food up here. And then he goes, and I'll be back with treats at halftime.
Oh, that's nice.
He comes back at halftime. Frozen Snickers, ice cream sandwiches, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, that's elite.
Nicest people in the world.
Yeah.
You didn't take a frozen Snickers?
No. You know what else I saw for the first time?
What?
The reality of where we're at. And it's scary. So we're literally on the roof at Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Like literally on the roof. And they had 2 law enforcement people, had 2 tripods up. One had a scope-type binocular and one with a machine gun.
Really?
On there, right there, as the people were coming in.
Really?
Just in case.
Did you have AC or were you just boiling up there?
Yeah, the windows don't open. It was a little musty.
Windows don't open?
No, they got the little teeny transom windows on the top, crease open, but there's
You
no
had
windows.
window closed?
They can't. They're impossible. You can't open them. They don't open.
Oh, that's not good.
Same thing coming
Wait,
up.
you didn't have a frozen Snickers? Those are nice.
You're still hung up on the Snickers.
Joey.
Well, Snickers is underrated for me.
They're good.
I love Snickers.
Yeah, you get a lot there. You get
Which,
the
by
caramel.
the way, Gomart's running that special on those.
What is it?
I've never seen this. We mentioned it last show. You can get like Reese's shapes or ideal. They're Snickers shapes now, Hoppy. Snickers in the shape of a pumpkin.
Really?
At Gomart, check it out.
Nice.
I don't know how you passed on Snickers.
Well, by everything else I had to go in there, my gosh.
How'd you feel when you got home?
Kind of like, hey, dumbass, what'd you eat all that for? Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Won't be the last time.
No.
Yeah. By the way, Friday at dinner we went Mexican. I never knew about red jalapenos.
Were they hot?
Excuse me?
About that long.
Yeah.
About that big around.
Are they any hotter?
Well, I just sampled a little and was smoking, but there was a guy at our table that we went with. He said, yeah, he took a piece about that big.
Just ate it straight?
Yeah, did a great job for like 29 seconds. Like no reaction. I went like, that was pretty solid. And then it busted.
Mm-hmm.
Blowed him up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hi, 3 guys. I initially agreed with you all about having too many Power 4 teams on the schedule. However, allow me to counterpoint. The Penn State game was the biggest for us nationally in a long time, and although it sucked to lose the attention, arguably worth it. Today's playoff reality, the conference record is what matters most. Now that we're 2-0, the next 2 are far more important to West Virginia than the Penn State game ever was. And these next 2 games won't garner the attention nationally we got from Penn State. So with the Alabama games, I think what you're left with is a game that will get a lot of attention that doesn't really mean a whole lot for postseason. If your goal is to get 6 wins in a bowl game, then yeah, go ahead, play ECU. But I don't think 5 wins against 6 wins matters in the end.
Yeah, here's a counterpoint to the counterpoint, though. When you play 2 Power 5s instead of getting the extra win, one, you're written off early, and you don't get any benefit for that. There's no strength of schedule component at the end. They haven't shown, the football committee hasn't shown what the ability to do what the basketball committee has done, where it rewards you for a Power 4 loss. They just haven't. So you're better off to rack the wins up, because if you win the Big 12, that's correct. It doesn't matter who you've played in the non-conference, you get the auto bid. But what about if you finish second in the conference and you have a second loss in there that's to a Power 4? Rarely are you going to get, if ever, they're going to go, well, you know what, they did play 2 Power 4s, nobody else did, they get in. So your chances of an at-large not winning the league, I think, are hurt by 1 less win until the committee shows that they're willing to provide you a benefit for that. But original point, Hop.
Yeah.
West Virginia shouldn't be in a point where it's scheduling different than everybody else in the country.
Exactly.
Just shouldn't.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Late night text. I was listening to Metro News' pregame, and Hoppy predicted Oklahoma State to win.
I did.
I don't know how you two guys can have him on the show. Then I was talking to my wife. We attended a Three Guys event, and she was telling me that Hoppy spent time with everyone except us.
Oh, man.
I think the picture we had made with you all, we're going to take Hoppy out of it. We're still fans of the show, coming home soon to get some of that beer.
You're trying to get it right. You're not just on there picking West Virginia each week. You're trying to get it right.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why I picked Oklahoma State. Because we talked about that game a lot over the last 2 weeks. And, Brad, what did we conclude is that here they seem like two teams you still don't have the identity firmly established, number one. The line was only 2.5, 3, and third. I did not see Mike Gundy losing 3 consecutive conference games with a home game. So that weighed me in favor of Oklahoma. Not that I wanted them to win, but that caused me to pick Oklahoma State in that game.
Well, first time they have in 10 years.
Maybe longer than that, Tony.
2014, was it?
I thought it was 2005.
Okay.
Whatever, but that's
we'll get our crack group of statisticians in on
But
that.
that's why I picked Oklahoma State.
Sure. Adam in Bridgeport, as we're writing this, I just watched Kansas lose with 16 seconds left. What a wild season this is turning out to be for the Big 12. The conference preseason picks number 3 and number 4 teams, Oklahoma State and Kansas, now have a combined 6 league losses. Mm-hmm. Who had that coming? Huge test against the Cyclones this week for West Virginia, but I like our chances with the coal rush. Junior in Elkview writes, hey, Three Guys, looking at the slide that Garrett took, not getting the first down, I agree with Tony. I also think they exaggerated where he started his slide also. However many times a quarterback will slide late and the defensive player really doesn't have time to pull up and then he gets flagged. I don't agree with this either. Garrett has gotten many of these calls, so I think it equals out.
That's why the rule, you were asking why the rule's in place. That's why the rule's in place. Because if you slide late and the defender can't stop and hit you and the defender gets nailed for targeting and thrown out of the game, that seems unfair to the defense as well. So they're trying to balance that out is the reason.
Yeah, trying to whistle the play dead
but
soon as the slide starts.
That is a super subjective. Where does he start the slide? That is a really subjective call.
Great win for the Mountaineers. After watching the game, I wondered when was the last time West Virginia did not punt in a game. Also, while flipping through the channels, caught a little bit of an episode of College Football at 1:50 on ESPN where they were discussing college football's top walk-ons. It got me to thinking, who would be considered West Virginia's greatest walk-on? Paul Woodside, Mike Compton, Owen Schmidt, Preston Pac-Man Fox. I'm sure I'm omitting some of the others. Mike Compton was not a walk-on.
Rich Braham.
Rich Braham.
Right,
Yeah,
maybe
he
he
means
meant
Rich
to say
Braham.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's because Rich is way up there.
Yeah, Owen. Rich.
Owen's way up there.
I think Rich Braham absolutely is a walk-on that played over 10 years in the NFL.
Yeah.
He would definitely be in it. But it'd be a good conversation.
Although Owen, too, I mean, he didn't get 10 years, but he got, 5, 6, 7 years?
Yeah, he got a handful of years in there. Yeah, absolutely.
Those guys are right up there. Been
Tell you
some
what,
great ones.
Mike and Maryland, thanks for listening. Preston Fox's catch of the last punt, I don't know if you guys could pick that up on TV.
Yeah.
That sun, it was like he needed a welding mask on. I mean, it's high when he goes like this. Before the punter punted it, he's giving you one of these, like, okay. And that thing was up there.
Might have to pull a baseball player and go with the sunglasses underneath. You know what else? True to his nickname that we have dubbed him, Pac-Man Fox. He also had a great pass breakup while he was on a pass route.
Yes.
There was a ball that was thrown up that was a jump ball. He went up and helped break that up so that it wasn't an interception. So
he gets credit. He got credit for a breakup. Well, we should put him on. They should put on the defensive stats there.
I don't know that he'll get a pass defended on that, but maybe should.
Yeah.
Add to the havoc ranking for West Virginia.
So we're back on Thursday. We'll preview West Virginia and Iowa State. Again, we're going to have a big fun time because we have a late start Saturday at the food court. We're going to have a big day there. But 4 o'clock it starts Friday until 9 o'clock. Hudson Clement's dad's playing a couple of sets around 6-ish, probably 6, 7 o'clock if you want to come out. The food is available from Rev Kev if you want to pre-order. You have to pre-order. They only make 50 of these tailgate pans if you're coming in. And you can do that at thesourcewv.org. So we'll have Connection 304 there, Rev Kev, Duca
from
Wine
the Wine
Bar
Bar
folks are going to be there. Probably got a little. I think we got a little brownie availability as well off of Rev Kev's site. So there it is, food court.
Hats, blackout hats available Friday and Saturday. Blue
Plus,
with gold logo available Friday, Saturday at the food court.
Don't forget the most important thing.
Homeless Dave.
Well, Homeless Dave, of course, will be there. I just mean the connections.
Well, that's what it is.
Connections that we make.
We have fun. So what, do you have any idea what you're going to go Friday?
Yeah, I'll be there Friday.
Okay, cool.
Saturday, I'm not game day. I'm kind of,
I know, but it's a late
Oh, you're
start.
busy on game. Well, I'm not doing anything game day. I might just go over there. I'll go over there Saturday.
I'm not doing anything on game day. I think I'll go
busy.
too.
I don't have anything on game day.
Was I just shamed into?
Yes, you'll be there. Hoppy will be there
because
sometime.
we're all
So-
doing stuff
I'll
on
be
game
there.
day,
I'll
so
be
just
there.
figure it out.
I'll be there.
By the way, you should stop over and see Fine Look and Phil. If you haven't got there early to get your blackout gear, get over there. Hurry up before he sells out of it.
Can I get one of those hats?
No, not available. Only produced enough to sell. I already gave you one.
All right. That's blue, though.
Oh, I already gave you one.
Can I trade it in?
Pretend it's black.
We
Three
were trying
guys
to make
before the game.
Sure, I can't just give you all our stuff. Just give them everything.
Three guys before
Hey,
the
how
game.
was your biscuit this morning?
Fair point. Need a few more biscuits.
Do that. Yeah, I was gonna say I'll do that deal every day. A biscuit for a hat. Three guys brought to us by
It was very
Comax
good, though. Thank
Business
you.
Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. By Gomart. Get a Gomart rewards card. Download their app. Go to the website gomart.com. Save on food and fuel. By Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. Great time to buy right now as the season starts to quiet. You can sneak in there and get yourself a heck of a deal on a pontoon.
Get yourself a
Tri-tune.
2024
Tri-tune,
or-
quad-tune, quin-tune, sex-tune, sep-tune, oct-tune. They got all the tunes.
G3 fishing boat.
G3s. By Tudor's Biscuit World, start your day the homemade way. Start your day the three guys way with a Tudor's Biscuit. And by Connolly's CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers. Thanks so much to our producers, Ethan and Austin. We are out back on Thursday with our preview. Have yourself a wonderful day. Take care.